Hey traders, my name is Josh Bellinger of OptionSizzle.com, and I want to walk you through a case study of a name called China Integrated Energy. It's a company that's traded in China, and the ticker symbol is CBEH. It's Charlie Bravo Echo Henry. And the reason why I want to outline this as a case study is because one of the things that I follow is unusual option activity. And for simple terms, that's just options that are trading abnormal. And with that, there's a little bit of transparency when individual is buying a call or a put, and especially with institutions buying calls or puts, is that they're looking to have a stock that's moved. So with that, option activity is usually a precursor for what's going to happen going with the stock, because stock moves the options, but if they're positioning themselves in the options ahead of the stock movement, they're looking for that stock to move, and they're getting in ahead of that, they're buckling in for that move. And CBEH is one that we saw early put buying in, and a theme that we've been seeing recently is that Chinese names, a few of them have had accounting issues. And with the put buying that I saw this morning, this was one of those that really kind of threw a red flag to me with the out-of-the-money put buying that they were going, and was one that's the reason why I flagged it for my members in the Elite service. So taking a look here at the daily time frame, this is a 1-year daily chart, and what you're looking at is called candlestick charting. And this candle right here where my cursor is represents today's movement. Now you have, just for simple terms, you have this candle here, and this represents the open up here, and this this big tail right here at the bottom, which is about 375, represents the low of the day, and it closed about $5. And you can see that it had a really big movement here intraday with big volume coming in. And just taking a look back at previous candles representing each day of trading, that we don't see a candle like that. So today was a really big movement. Well, early in the morning, I pointed out to my members, and I want to bring it up in the screen for you, and I'll take you a sneak peek into my membership area. And taking a look here at 8:59, I posted to my members that CBEH, a China name, is seeing a buyer of the April 250 puts here with 600 traded, and opening buyer coming in on the offer at 26 cents. And with the spread getting wider, what I mean by that is that the bid and offer was getting wider, and that's kind of a sign to me as well when they're coming in buying on the offer, and also that the spread is starting to widen, that there's potentially something that could be there. And I pointed out that could sell off name with some kind of accounting issue like we've seen with others. And just shortly after that, I pointed out that the March puts were starting to see action as well. So taking a look here of what I actually saw, and with my platform, there's a little bit of if you're using Thinkorswim, you can actually, on a 1-minute chart, look at the option trades on a 1-minute time frame. So let's just take a look here. I'm taking a look at the charting for. Actually, let's take a look at the option chain real quick, and let's just focus on the put side here. You can obviously see that the puts outpaced the calls today, and later in the day after that bounce, that's the reason why call buyers were there. But we could see that the March 5s traded about 4,000 contracts with the open interest about 4,400, and the ones I pointed out early were the 250 trades here. Now the stock opened at $6, but they're going for the 250 puts. That's called out of the money, and it's out of the money about $3.50. That's a really big move that would need. That means the stock would have to shed about 50% of its market share for these puts to profit. And with them coming at 26 cents, it's kind of a little bit of a lotto ticket. But what we've seen, like I've talked about earlier, is that we've seen these Chinese names have these accounting issues. So the theme you get enough kind of thesis going together, the trade starts making sense. We see buyers coming in, and obviously if they're coming in with a block of 600 that's being bought on the offer, you know, money like that's not dumb. They're playing for a reason. And what I mean by dumb, they're not throwing money away. If you think about it, you know, they're not going to throw, even if it's 600 contracts and it's at 26 cents, you know, they're not just throwing money away because they think, hey, let's try to, you know, let's roll on red. These individuals are smart and they're precise on what they're looking to do. And I was able to pick it up early in the morning, and my members were able to return about 100% profits midday after it moved really sharply lower. So they were coming in for these Aprils, and then they eventually came in for these March calls. Well, let's take a look at we can chart the option chain here, and I'm going to chart it on a 1 minute, and I have to move it to a chart here. So I just need a little bit, a couple seconds for this to load up here. Alrighty, so we're loaded here, and you're looking at a 1 minute chart of today's activity. And taking a look here, you can see that this white candle represents the volume, which is about 566 contracts. And you can see that they hit about 25 cents. They actually printed at 26. And you could see here with these, how it's moving higher, that these trades, these little blocks of trades are moving higher, that the buyers are coming in higher and higher. And we eventually jumped up to 70 cents. And if we looked at a intraday chart here, this is when prices started to sell off. Now, the reason why it sold off is not really sure. There might have been a story that was published about this having an accounting irregularity, and that this is the reason why it started to sell off. So a lot of people just kind of panicked, sold the name off as sharply as possible, and that's where we saw that bounce. And taking I don't have the implied volatility here, but the implied volatility actually rocketed higher and really sent the value of these puts up, and it actually finished the day about 50 cents here from this morning. So it even closed up 100%. And almost intraday went up 200%. And with the implied volatility still higher here and the price is lower, that the price of those puts were still elevated on this one. So you could see here just in a day's time that those calls really spiked up. And taking a look at the 1 minute here, it's not showing a full because there's a missing of trades, because it's not it's not traded that often. So these trade blocks, there's some time missing because there wasn't any trades. But you could just see here from this post or when this came at 8:56 here, that it actually from 8:56, so a few hours at 12:42, that's when it hit its high, and then it kind of backed off a little bit here. So again, this is exactly why you want to know where the institutions or insiders, people with some kind of information are positioning themselves, because you want to be able to kind of take advantage of it and be able to ride their coattails. Like I said, I had members that were able to take advantage of this activity today and make a nice profit intraday by doing this. And this is what we do in the chat room every day. I just want to go back to the chat room where I'm showing you, and I just want to show you where my post came out at 8:50, or sorry here, at 8:59, and I just want to go back to where this block traded at 8:56. So I got this right off. It came off my system, and legitimately, I could say that my members are able to get the information in a more precise way. And this is what you're looking for. You want to get the information as fast as you possibly can to make an informed decision. And even as you kind of take a little bit of time for this to develop and kind of investigate, maybe take a look at some news, or take a look at the company, however you trade, be able to have that information and then be able to at least have some time to execute and still be able to profit on a move such as this. So again, this is just a case study of exactly why we want to be able to follow the unusual option activity, and why it's a indication of future stock movement, because the stock options are a derivative of the stock. So when the stock moves, the options are going to move as well. Well, usually if there's some kind of news that that individuals know that it's going to move the market or could move the market, they're going to position themselves in the options because they get leverage. It's a lot cheaper, and the payoff is much more extreme, which we saw here with the puts, than it is by playing the stock. So again, this is why I just wanted to highlight this. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them at the bottom here, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And make sure as well that I have a trial for my service, which is the Option Sizzle Elite. It's $1 for 14 days. Come on in and